Today I queued up for a ranked game of World of Warships, as I have done a few times lately.
Yeah.
And our good friend Blake was on the other team.
Wow.
Oh, he was on the enemy team.
Yeah, he stream sniped.
Yeah, you're the only two people playing the
That's
game.
how small.
I suspect it's a small player base.
That's how small the player, at least in the U.S.
Yeah, we were on opposite teams.
Wow.
His team won, sadly, but I played quite well.
Yeah. How do you play well in that game?
You shoot down a lot of ships.
Yeah, you shoot
get
other
the-
ships.
You reach the highest knots, or like
Did you-
Yeah, nice
Did you
knots.
buy? Do you have like gold ammunition or?
No, that's a World of Tanks thing.
Isn't
you
it
know?
pay to win?
There's no premium ammunition in World of Warships.
Did you buy one of the anime girl ships?
Yeah, I have several of those.
Yeah. It's a good way
I
to
don't-
start that.
I don't want to hear about that.
Here we are.
You know what I love about games? I guess it's any interest. But people who are really obsessed with games, they'll tell you all about it. Like, I've been streaming, and somebody will join and then tell me they play World of Tanks, and then they'll talk about it for 30 minutes. Like, we're
Yeah,
not
let me
playing
tell you
that
all
game.
about it.
Yeah. We're not doing anything related to it, but they'll join and they'll be like, let me tell you about
We're
the
all-
last patch.
We're all
Yeah.
that toddler, still the toddler who's going to talk to you about Paw Patrol for like
Oh my god,
40
man.
minutes.
Yeah.
If I could just remove one show right now from existence, it
Paw
would
Patrol?
probably be Paw Patrol.
Are
You
you going
think
to the
so?
movie? Isn't there a movie? Any
No,
movie?
but I think I think my wife might take him to it.
He's a big Paw Patrol fan.
And these days, yes.
Yeah.
My daughter only wants to watch Nightmare Before Christmas. She just walks up and says "Oogie Boogie" and hands me the remote.
Oogie Boogie
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
best character.
Yeah.
So
She
that's-
likes
I
Oogie
Boogie.
I
Not
like
too
Oogie
scary?
Boogie, yeah.
Not too scary. I would have thought too scary,
Yeah.
but she seems to love it. I think they like being scared a little bit.
Dude, they
and,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're into the creepy stuff. She likes Oogie Boogie. She's a little creep.
It's a good movie too.
It's a
and
good
it's
movie.
and it's weird because it works for both seasons. You watch it both times, right? Halloween and Christmas.
People say that. I've never watched it at Christmas, nor would I want to. It's
I
not
feel
to
like
me.
it's
It's
a
a
Christmas
Halloween movie.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
a
more of a
Christmas
Christmas
movie.
movie than a Halloween movie.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, no, you guys. Okay, okay. We're starting off the takes early, huh?
Isn't it? Because it's about
No, it's a Halloween
Christmas.
movie.
No, it's a
first.
Christmas movie.
It's about
It's
the
a
Halloween guy.
Mike, what's the movie called?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, because it's Halloween. It's
Henry
before
Selick
Christmas.
directed it, not Tim Burton, as many people.
Yeah, I bet Bill thinks Tim Burton directed it.
Tim Burton directed it.
No, you're wrong again, brother.
They had his
Oh.
head in it. He got in trouble with Disney or something.
It's pretty. I like Nightmare Before Christmas. I like the movie a lot. I think the fandom is pretty cringe.
No, you're thinking like it's 2011. The fandom doesn't
he's
exist
back in
anymore.
Hot Topic.
You could still
Yeah.
go to Hot Topic right now and get a Jack Skellington.
But there's not like a fandom anymore. That's like it's
Is
if
it
anything,
over?
it's like an ironic fandom now. Like that's not real. That's not a real fandom.
I don't like how Jack talks when he sings his songs.
You know,
There's
it's
two different
guys
people.
actually.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You know it about
You
it
knew,
too.
guess you have learned a thing or two
Yeah.
from me about that film.
It
So
feels a
basically
little
the guy-
cringe to me.
The guy who sings it was like, I would like to be the voice, and they were like, okay, voice the whole movie, and they did it, and they were like, nah,
He didn't do a good job.
nah, you can sing the songs, but you will not be the voice of this guy, which is crazy.
I actually think, contrary to your point, Mike, that when he belts out that first line in his soul, because this is Halloween, sure, we're getting set up, it's fine. But when he does, there are a few who would deny it. What I do, I am the best.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's when I'm like, oh,
That's
the movie's
literally
good.
The line I think of where I'm like, I don't like listening to
That's
him.
when
No.
that's when
Yeah.
the movie becomes a good
What
movie.
I do, I
Yeah.
am the best. Like, okay,
Yeah,
no,
dude,
I'm
that's
like, yeah,
so nails it.
okay,
Yeah.
You went to music school for singing songs for Broadway.
It's too
Knock it
theater
off.
free. It's
It's
too
good.
theater for
Knock
you.
it off. Yeah, he sounds like a theater freak.
That's when everyone in
I
the
love
theater
Oogie
except
Boogie,
you
though.
goes, this is a good movie.
How do you imagine a guy named Jack Skellington, who's maybe a skeleton, but also known as the Pumpkin King? How would you expect him to sound?
I think his vocal, when he speaks, he's fine. It's just his,
Oh, so you would remove the singer?
it's the fury of his recitations.
Recitation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
dude,
thing I
that's
don't
so
like
cool.
that much. It's a great,
It's just
it's
two
a
extra
great
syllables.
movie. Though. I love
Dude.
the movie though.
On your note with my daughter, Sesame Street. Her first birthday is like in 5 days, right? But she loves Sesame Street, right?
Yeah. Good stuff.
And we only watch the YouTube one because I refused to pay for HBO Max because the app fucked me once. and I never will do it again because it made me change my app midway from HBO Max to Max app, and that was a whole thing. I think I froze.
To the Max app.
You stuttered once, but we got you.
Your audio's here. Your face is frozen.
So I refuse to subscribe now. So we just watch it on YouTube, and it's the same like 5 videos over and over again, like the same 5 Sesame Street Elmo the musicals over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, Elmo's a bird, and he delivers an egg that starts hatching. And the egg opens, and a little baby bird comes out of it. And the first time my daughter saw it, she acted like it was like the most horrific horror movie she's ever seen in her, like screaming, hysterical. And so then anytime it happened, I would like try to change it really fast, but I started to miss it because it's just on repeat all day long.
Yeah.
And then one time I was like, okay, I'm just going to show my wife. I'm like, you guys got me, right?
Little stutter, but you're here.
You're back, yeah.
And I'm like, maybe if I turn off my video.
Yeah.
Shall I turn off my video?
A little blackbird?
No, it's like a little red one.
Because I'm trying to find a picture of it. I see Elmo with a nose and a blackbird. But
I bet over the course of the show, a lot of little birds have hatched.
Okay, fair enough.
But either way, like one time I'm showing it to my wife, and I'm like, okay, watch this. And it starts to happen. It starts to hatch. And my daughter literally is going like, she's preparing to get scared by it. But then now every time she sees it, she actually loves it now. Mm-hmm. So it's like this weird thing where like it started, she was super scared. But now every time it hatches, and like it seems like she literally overcame it and loves it now. It's crazy.
Yeah. We need to be scared. It's important.
Yeah. Both my kids seem a little bit drawn to creepy stuff.
Yeah, it's weird that we like that we kind of primally go to that.
But isn't that like the whole point of film and television? Is like it gives us experiences that we don't have.
It
gives us those feelings safely, right? We watch Friday the 13th, and we feel what it's like to be hunted by it, but there's no consequence, right?
It's like
we
roller
just get
coasters. Scared. Roller coasters like a falling simulator, right?
Yeah. You're not going to die. That's why you get on it. But while you're on it, it feels like you might.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you guys like this movie?
I loved it. I want to talk about it, but I want to read the mail first.
Bill, you didn't say anything when I said that.
Because Mike jumped right in to say he loved it. I have several thoughts on the movie.
I have some thoughts too.
I think we've got similar. I want to be clear. I think we probably all have similar thoughts. And in fact, I believe the mail I'm about to read is
I looked at the
relevant to the thoughts we may have.
I watch stuff on my phone mostly.
Okay.
And
that might be rough.
And I did the thing where I tapped the screen to see how much longer was left. Like, just
that's
to
me
look
every
at
movie.
Just to look at what's left on the end of it. Just a few times, a couple times.
I do think we'll get into it, but I do think that's always a challenge when you watch like a movie from the 50s.
Yeah.
The pacing and the editing is so much slower.
Yeah.
Let me read some mail. We've got a mail here from power listener Sam. And as a reminder, it's been a little while. The last movie we watched was Snatch.
Yeah, apologies for the delay. We got
Rafifi. It was Rafifi's fault. We tried to watch Rafifi, but we couldn't find it. Yeah, we tried for like 5 weeks.
Yeah,
we were doing a heist, and we got we got strung up by the law. So
it was false diamonds.
We were behind the walls, as they say in Asphalt Jungle.
So that's been the current process.
Here's our first mail from power listener, the grandest power listener of all, Sam Bong. She says, "Don't be afraid, friends. Number 1, hey, tastes change and expand and evolve as you live life. It doesn't mean Snatch is a bad movie. Wow. It just means you're watching it with different eyes. Yeah. Like that quote about no man stepping in the same river twice. The perspective with which you're watching Snatch this time is much different from back in 2001 or whenever it came out. Like when I was a kid, McDonald's was the epitome of food for me. I grew up in a poor Asian country, so Western fast food was a treat. And it's not anymore. And overall, maybe it's kind of gross, but those Mickey D's fries are still hella good. It's okay to enjoy it on its merits."
Yeah.
So that's the first note, we talked a bit about whether Snatch was still
beautifully-
good or not.
It's beautifully
well,
written.
well said. Yeah.
and to
Um,
evoke no man steps in the same river twice. It's beautiful. Very,
Love a
very
good
beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like more proverbs from
Dude,
from
I'd be
males.
crazy about
I love
proverbs lately.
proverbs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, give a man a mask and he'll show you his true face.
it's very good.
One of the
So
hardest
true.
things I've ever heard in my life.
That's maybe like the proverb for the internet, right?
It's so funny
Yeah.
that it's in context of a guy saying league chat removed
Yeah.
all names.
I'm gonna run it. I'm
Can't see
gonna run
who's
it
talking
down.
in league. Yeah,
As
Yeah.
you talk in the client and there's a
Pro
bug that
Belter,
removes
right?
your name,
Yeah.
and you say, give a man a mask and he'll show you his true face.
proverbs good. Yeah, I'd like more proverbs in my daily life and in this
Maybe
show.
there's like a date. Maybe we should all get that's what I'll get you guys for
Proverb date book.
proverb calendar. New proverb every day. The
That's
365 proverbs.
Yeah, quotes. I used to think quote books were pure cheese. Now I would like to be surrounded.
I wake
by
up and go, interesting. Marcus Aurelius was a smart guy.
Damn. Yeah. What did he go through?
Yeah.
Here's more from Sam. Number 2. I have bad news for you.
Uh-oh.
Heist movies as a genre are not known for social progressiveness or inclusivity.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to keep having these slightly awkward conversations about how stereotypically masked these movies are. I'd love for y'all to not shy away from that awkwardness. I know talking about representation, inclusivity can feel like it's a conversational, it's full of conversational landmines, especially as 3 cis white guys.
Yeah.
What's the alternative though? That the topics are only ever brought up or discussed by the people fighting for inclusion? All 3 of you are smart, articulate, and thoughtful. Thank you.
Ah,
I've always enjoyed when you've talked about representation in the past, even through your discomfort. I hope you don't stop.
I like
Heart.
that it always brings us discomfort as well. That none of us are ever comfortable.
yeah.
You two especially, because you two are
No, not
Full-
us. Usually,
especially-
you're the uncomfortable one.
no, you guys are full white.
Well, I'm
You
Italian.
understand? No,
Yeah,
you're not.
I'm also part Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Italian doesn't count. Well, I'll say right now, Italian doesn't count. Okay. I don't care where that takes me. Italian doesn't count.
Okay. I don't want to.
Matthew Manarino, Italian doesn't count.
I am half
Yeah.
Italian, and if someone asked me if I were white and I were
You just
full
say
Italian,
yes.
I would say yes. But I'm half Mexican, so I am more qualified to talk about this than you two honkies.
She's got a good point that actually there's a unique perspective to critique the toxic masculinity stuff
As two honkies.
someone that stuff's been marketed to us our whole lives, and
So,
then we realized
then-
it was lame.
So that I'll leave those conversations to you guys as
Sure.
a person
as the white representatives.
who's fighting for inclusivity. Me, Mexican, proud Mexican American. I leave it to you guys. I'll
I
sit
think-
back and watch.
I'm comfortable to leave it to Bill
Okay.
What the fuck?
because
Me too.
I think that my family, I think my great grandma was a Cherokee woman, and so
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you're
I'm
cooked.
out too.
You say you just say 1/16th.
I don't know what the number would be. My mom, when I applied for college, my mom was like, you should put Native American on here because your
yeah.
great grandma was a Cherokee woman, and I was like, I am not gonna do that.
That
That's
is
the craziest thing I ever heard.
My grandma was adopted, so don't know.
You're just shaking your head. You could be. So none of us are technically.
I feel pretty white.
You
I-
look.
I feel
pretty
white. Yeah,
I think
it's fair to say I feel.
I think
white.
my ethnicity is Texan, probably.
Yeah, it's interesting. My one of the things I always, now that I have a kid, I wrestle with this. I don't wrestle with this because I'm going to introduce. She is a quarter of 4 things. She's a quarter Hungarian, a quarter Filipino, a quarter Mexican, and a quarter Italian. And so now we have a ton of stuff to introduce into her life,
Mhm.
especially things that I view have all 4 of them have really strong cultural practices and backgrounds. There's a lot of cool shit that we can teach her. Because when I was a kid, my mom was the first generation born here. Her parents came here from Mexico, and when her parents came here, it was like, don't bring up that we're from Mexico. Assimilate, because that's
Right.
how you're gonna survive, right? Like that's how you're gonna make it here. And so I wasn't raised with any of that culture either, because it was still in this like weird phase where you couldn't own that, right? My grandma didn't want to own that. She was like, we need to assimilate, we need to be white, right? And so they were kind of raised like white people. So I didn't get any of that cultural stuff. So I'm super excited to bring it to my kid,
You know what's kind of weird about that is like I grew up with a lot of Mexican culture.
Texas,
like
right?
I grew up on the south side of San Antonio, and it's mostly like Mexican immigrants. And so like we were off for fiesta. School was canceled. Like we grew up with a lot of, I mean, I'm white. My family didn't celebrate Mexican holidays, but my school did.
Yeah.
Really bizarre. But I think, Texan is the closest to a culture I have. And that really just translates to liking guns and refried beans. There's not like a lot more.
Rootin' and tootin', you know?
Yeah. Knowing how to change a tire, I guess.
Firing a 6-shooter in the air when you're excited.
Yeah. Well, my dad did shoot a hole in his bed, so, you know.
Well, I mean, as usual, a slam dunk email from Sam Bong.
As always.
Makes me think.
A proverb and guidance.
It is uncomfortable, but there's another layer to it that's pretty good, which is it can be it can be uncomfortable for us to try to navigate them as I guess 2 white men and 1 half Mexican.
Thank you very much.
But you both have kids that you have to teach. You've got to navigate it somehow.
We both have daughters.
You both have daughters, especially. Yeah. And so we might as well get the practice now because it's not going to get easier.
That's true.
I mean, what is there to... What more can I say than Hollywood up until still today has been run by basically white guys
misogynists
who want to tell their stories that they find exciting, which are basically proxies for them.
Yeah,
it's not fair. But I guess our point would be like, as much as we don't, I guess it just sucks that the new Oceans movie wasn't good. I guess that just
is that
sucks.
What you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was good. Can I say that?
I think that, and this is, I think you'll see people hiding behind this argument to make a more disgusting point. But I think the actual argument makes sense, which is the stories that you want to tell. If you want to tell like female-led stories, the path for success there isn't to take a thing that exists already with characters that people like and a concept people like, and then be like, they're all girls now. Like they've got to make, what we need is to make room for like people to tell original stories that are relevant to the audience. Like that's probably the only way we're going to get there. Cause I don't think, all female Ghostbusters, it's a Vine, it's a meme, but like also people don't like Ghostbusters. They liked Bill Murray. You know what I mean? And so to just swap Bill Murray with like a brilliant, like Kate McKinnon, right? Is that her name? She's like a brilliant comic, but she's not Bill Murray. And that's why people like Ghostbusters. So I don't know. The problem is there's not a lot of ways to tell original stories in Hollywood right now that affects everyone. And then it especially affects underrepresented
big movies, big budget movies. There's a lot of fucking great indie movies.
Right.
That tell really cool stories.
Cool. So we're all agreed.
Tough conversation.
We liked it better before, is what we were saying, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying. No. Bill's pleading the fifth on all of this, by the way. He hasn't said a goddamn word, and I don't like it.
No, I have. Well, it's not like a okay go.
Bill's not an interrupter.
I'm not an interrupter. Thank you, Mike.
Okay, go.
Yeah, it's like Sam Monk said, no, you got to keep talking about this. Okay, go. It's just, she's just like, hey, it's going to come up. You can.
Just something to think about.
It's okay to talk about.
She's like, what's your take right now?
Gave us permission.
No, it's going to come up in this movie for sure.
Oh, you think?
Let's get our next mail. Don't dox. Let me do this in advance. Do not dox this person. Power listener Anton.
Okay.
Anton says, hello, gents. Great to hear you are back. Dated September 15th.
Sorry about that.
I have a question.
We got thrown in the hole for fighting in the yard.
In what world would having a distaste for American lack of culture be a disadvantage?
Okay.
Who said it was?
Yeah, wow. Whoa. Okay. When did you say that?
Wait, having a distaste
for American culture.
Oh, I see.
No. A distaste for America's lack of culture.
America's lack of culture.
He's saying a distaste for American culture, but he parenthesized lack of.
Okay.
Oh, meaning there's not.
There's not one.
Culture. Yeah, I understand.
Which there is one. but I
How
understand.
else could you distaste it?
To get some inspiration,
Think about that.
Anton says, to get some inspiration, I decided to watch this highly relevant program on a flight. He's sent a picture
Asphalt Jungle?
of Pierce Brosnan's History's Greatest Heists.
Oh.
And I'll
Nice.
describe the picture to you. It's a picture, actually, I think I can drop it in a Discord. It's a picture of Pierce Brosnan standing in front of a vault with some photoshopped gold bars.
Oh, hell yeah. That looks so sick.
It said he
I
did
love
have
it's a phone picture.
he did have the greatest heist sequence of that decade after all.
Thomas Crown Affair?
Is he talking about the Thomas Crown Affair?
Or James Bond.
Or
Did James Bond do
GoldenEye?
it?
GoldenEye's
Yeah.
got a good one, right? The
I don't know.
beginning, he's like
I
jumps
like the
off the
video
dam.
game. Odd Job was house band.
Yeah,
Odd Job
Odd
was
Job
house
should be
band.
house band. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too short.
Actually, OP.
Anton, we think you're talking about the Thomas Crown Affair, which perhaps we should watch.
I'm actually not sure what he's talking about
Or GoldenEye.
in general.
Yeah, this is a
GoldenEye,
tough one to follow. So
GoldenEye
far.
is not a heist movie, but it opens with a heist sequence, right? Well, it's blowing up a facility, so it's similar.
Thomas Crown Affair, is unremarkable. I can't remember. The only thing I can remember is that absolute fucking banger title. A title so good that I'll never forget it as long as I live. It's so clean. The Thomas Crown Affair? Are you joking?
I don't know. I never saw it. I'm not getting.
But
much
you
out
know
of
the
title.
name, don't you?
I know it right now.
But you knew of it.
It was probably in there somewhere.
Rattling around, no?
Yeah, I'm sure.
On my
I'll read our-
deathbed, my last words are going to be Thomas Crown.
Thomas Crown Affair. Our final mail from.
Wait, that was it?
What was it? Yeah, that's the whole mail from Anton.
Was he on
the subject line? He said in the subject line, "Snatch is a clean 7.4."
0.4 is crazy.
Why? I think that's not. I think it's the opposite of crazy.
Once you introduce in very, very detailed decimals, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, but
You do 7.5.
he does a lot of ratings.
Yeah, he does do a lot of it. That email doesn't make a lick of sense. I'm just going to say.
I'll read our final mail.
This is the last one we have time for, right?
Right.
Yes.
From Bill's brother Jack.
He
Yeah,
did.
hell yeah.
The subject line. The subject line is, "I am the Yeet Lord Goat."
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bill.
Yeah, yeeting is full sending. To say you're a yeet lord means you like
Full sending.
going in. Yeah, and then the yeet lord goat, the greatest of all time at liking going in.
Okay.
So it's just a lot of emphasis.
Jack says, this is from when we were talking about who he would be. Jack says, "Hello. Billy would for sure be the lockpicker. He was a professional locksmith."
Yep.
LMAO.
Yeah, I was paid to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No
email.
Is that
disagreement.
the mail?
That's the whole mail.
That's so sick. Thank you,
He's
dude.
just letting us know.
Thank you for locking that in.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we had one phenomenally thoughtful, well put email, and then two that were like nightmare dreams, like fever
Yeah, like
dreams,
Google
like-
Translate mails.
Last one was okay.
written by AI, sent to the podcast because those didn't make any sense.
Authored by ChatGPT. Write me an email to send a movie podcast with
Of
my
this-
brother.
Talking about heist movies, and my brother's in it. Subject line: I am the Yeet Lord Goat. Sent. And then Anton's was written while he woke up from an ambient dream on a plane.
I believe he wrote it on a plane. This is a phone photo of a plane
Right.
screen.
What does he mean? Did we say at some point that not like in America? Oh, because I said, I think I know what it is. I said that I think it's weird that Anton doesn't like butter and salted popcorn, that he thinks it's really weird, and that in Germany, all they eat is kettle corn. What we call kettle corn in the United States, all they have in movie theaters is kettle corn. And that butter, I know, I wince too, but butter and salt is like an affront to food culture
I
in
see.
Germany.
Those are just basic.
What do they
Food
put on food?
additives.
What do they put on food there? Dirt?
Yeah.
I think
Thank
sweet.
you.
I think everything is like kettle corn. I think they kettle corn everything there.
I actually love a nice beer gotten. I have some sausages.
Okay.
You ever go to that one in Solvang?
Nope.
What?
Never been there.
You ever go to Solvang?
Never been to Solvang. No, thank you.
Is that in the valley?
You've never been to Solvang? No, it's not in the valley. It's
I've
in the
driven through-
it's in the Central Coast. It's
I've
like
driven
a
through
Dutch.
Solvang. I've
It's
driven
like a
through
Dutch
Solvang.
village.
They have
It's
some,
in a movie. We could watch the movie that's there.
They have some bad hombres hanging out in that area.
No, they don't.
Yeah, man, Solvang. It's known for attracting,
Bad hombres.
let's say, some people with some radical views about the purity of.
Oh, geez.
culture.
Okay, I see. Well, they
You
have
know?
okay, that I believe they've got a nice German sausage garden.
Yeah, it was a big problem
I
for a
see.
while over in Solvang.
My favorite movie snack, and the only place you can do it is at the the Alamo Draft House.
Excuse me?
At the Alamo Draft House, because they serve
He said
food.
he was going to say the animal sanctuary.
At the Alamo Draft House, you can get fried pickles. I always get fried pickles and a root beer float.
Can I ask you a question about fried pickle?
Yeah,
I've never had one in my life.
I
Sure.
don't think I have either.
Sounds disgusting.
it's great.
Is it long,
Yes,
fried, or fried?
they do them.
I did a chopping motion for people listening.
People make them both ways. The ones at the draft house are long, I think.
So it's a full pickle batter dip.
Well, it's quartered, but they're long slices.
Okay, thank you. Question
and then you
answered.
Batter
They're
it,
wedges.
dip it, and you put it in a little ranch.
What I was worried about was
There was like a corn dog shape.
is the whole thing.
He's making a gesture. He just brought his head down towards his outstretched hand.
Yeah,
and then
Oh.
then what you get is absolute molten pickle juice destroying your mouth. Because
pickle
if
juice
you-
can be quite hot.
if you leave the pickle intact, what's inside waiting for you is hell.
Hot
But
juice.
if you spear it, it negates that problem a little bit.
Yeah, you don't eat the. I mean, I'm sure maybe someone does, but they usually slice or what is it? Spear? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually do one of the two.
Thank you. Question. That does sound actually delicious. Now
It's
I'm quite
lovely.
hungry thinking
Yeah,
about
actually,
it.
I could go for one.
Root
Yeah.
beer
In
float.
ranch, that
Sounds
sounds
nice with like a
fucking
beer.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a beer guy, it's a good beer snack.
So like it's got pub food kind of vibes.
That's all they really have at the old draft house. You're not fine dining there, you
Dude,
know?
I'm not crazy about it. I got booed at the Alamo Draft House once. I hate that fucking place.
Why'd you get
Because-
Were you
booed?
dining there? Or were you doing some kind of performance?
I was watching a film. It's a movie theater, Bill.
Oh,
by
okay.
the way,
I didn't.
It's a
We
movie
don't have
theater.
that.
It's a movie theater that serves you food.
There's one in LA. There's only one though.
And I went to a screening of Chungking Express, the
Great.
Wong Kar-wai film.
Great movie.
I think his first. Great movie. And I showed up late, and I couldn't find my seat, and I was kind of like walking around a lot, and I walked in front of the screen at some point, and everyone booed and yelled at me.
That's funny.
And
And-
I thought, fuck you guys. Fuck you.
for that you blame the theater.
It's the kind of people who go there.
Hmm.
They're like, "Oh, yes, well, actually, Quentin Tarantino's overture masterpiece. Those fucking dorks, you know?
They are.
That's
kinda
you
like
guys.
No, I'm not like that. My favorite movie's Happy Gilmore.
that.
My favorite movies are Happy Gilmore, Remember the Titans,
Yeah.
All right, you are cool.
Braveheart, and Die
Yeah.
Hard.
And my favorite movies are Fast and Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious 5, Fast and Furious 1, Fast and Furious 7, Fast and Furious 6.
And then the Momo. Dude, I cannot believe the new Fast and Furious is a two-parter. That
Did you
is-
watch it?
No, but I just think about that constantly. Did I
It's-
tell you? I told you
not
guys that
good.
I watched. Oh no, we already talked about that. I watched Dungeons and Dragons, and that it's good.
Lovely.
It
Yeah.
has no reason being that good. Crazy. Okay, either way.
Let's
Thanks,
talk
Mike.
about.
Yeah, Asphalt.
Thanks everybody for your mails. I'm sorry we don't have time to read all of them.
Yeah.
Because obviously in this off time we've piled many mails.
Just had to delete them all.
Yeah, well, we'll just read them over the course of the season. We'll come around to them. Let's
I'm
talk
gonna
about
do a mailbag day.
the Asphalt Jungle. Bill, would you like to recap
Oh God.
the
Yes.
events of this film?
I'll do my best. It's been a minute since I watched it, so I'm fucked.
And if you could do me a favor, anytime somebody is condescending to or abusive towards a woman, just really emphasize how in character, how much you liked it.
No, they okay. The plot's a little knotted up as they are in these movies, so you're just gonna have to just bear with me, okay? There's a guy that gets out. There's like a criminal mastermind that just gets out of jail, and he sets in. He's not the main character. The main character is a guy named Dix, and the criminal mastermind sets up a heist immediately after getting out of jail to go rob a jewelry store. And they work with a local bookie and this other guy that has a restaurant, and they form a little team with a safecracker and a driver. And what do they call the goon? They call him I forget, a hoodlum or something.
A hooligan.
A hooligan, yeah.
I do love we got new names for our roles here. We got hooligan and boxman.
Boxman's
crazy.
Yeah, Bill's the
Yeah.
boxman, Matthew's the
sick.
hooligan.
Boxman is
they really
crazy.
they really lock those in. Yeah,
Yeah, great vocab.
they do the heist. It goes sideways because they're explosive. They're like homemade explosive trips alarms down the block, and
The juice.
the juice, yeah. And then sorry, I'm not doing a good job. They okay. Then a few people try to pull one over on each other. There's the guy that funded it because they needed like seed money to to get the project going, and the guy that funded it wasn't going to pay them. His plan was to rip them off.
Right.
They catch wind of that. See, I'm kind of starting to fade at this point.
You watched it a while ago.
I watched it a while ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Long story short, everybody, it doesn't work out well for just about anybody.
Yeah.
The guy who's trying to cheat his criminal friends ends up getting caught by the police and shoots himself before they walk him out. Our main guy makes it just barely home. He is shot in an exchange with that guy's like PI, and he finally makes it home to Nebraska or whatever, to his dream to get back to the farm. But then he falls out of the car and dies, basically.
Promptly dies.
And then the mastermind guy is too pervy to not get caught, and the police catch him and haul him off too when he's just about out of town.
We'll get around to the pervy. I got a question about him for later, but
yeah, sorry, I would have done a better job of that if I'd watched it more recently.
you got it dialed in. That's pretty
That's
much it.
more or
There's a
less
heist,
what happens.
There's a heist that goes wrong. Everybody gets arrested or dies.
Yeah,
The end. Directed by John Huston. Huston,
I think.
a famous director.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about the Asphalt Jungle. The first thing is the movie was made in like 1949 or 1950. So it's got a lot of the challenges that an older film like that has, where it's pretty slow. The acting is the acting of that era, right? And then the themes are also it's a good thing Sam sent us that mail today. Like, that's a really nice timing for the film that we just watched, because there are two female characters that are basically just they just get shouted at or insulted essentially through the whole film. And then everybody else is like a dirtbag. Even the cop is a dirtbag.
Yeah, they're all creepy.
Yeah.
I feel for that cop though.
The lieutenant?
Which one?
Tough gig when you first I like when he says to him, you got three options, right? I'm gonna bust you down to a speed cop. I'm gonna bring you up on charges of incompetence, or you're gonna go catch the guys.
Yeah.
Right? That's so brutal. Like, that's like the worst options. I don't know. I like an incompetent, bumbling cop, you know?
Yeah.
Corrupt.
I also think the I loved this movie had like some clear highlights to me of like where I'm like, oh, I get why this is really good.
Yeah, let's talk highlights, lowlights.
I have highlights. The gunshot sequence. So there's not a lot of like gun violence in the movie for like a heist movie at this time. I would imagine there'd be a lot of like shootout type of stuff, and we really don't get much of it.
Yeah.
But there is one. The guns get drawn and shot at one point, and it's quick, and it's a really cool shot. And I thought it was so cool. It's when our heroes, the driver, I think, and the guy, I keep forgetting what they call him, the main guy, the goon. They're having a meeting. Oh no, it's the mastermind and the goon. Go have a meeting with the money man and his guy, because he has a guy with a gun there too. That's like his private investigator that he hired, and they're planning to basically rob our heroes without them knowing it. And this sequence ends with the goon and the PI both pulling their guns and shooting at each other. And I think they both hit each other.
Mhm.
And the shot happens so quick. It happens really suddenly, like quicker than I thought, than I would expect from a film of this era, right? I've seen a lot of like John Wayne, like pulling out a gun and aiming it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's what I associate with old movies, gun action. But this was quick and exciting and tense. And I thought it was so sick the way they did it. And also, I think the camera swings out when he like turns around to do it, and the camera follows him. And it's really impactful because most of the movie, the camera is just stuck there.
Doesn't move.
There's not a lot, which I also thought was so cool. There's so many cool shots they're just totally static camera. It reminded me I'm sorry, I got to take it here, but it reminded me of Final Fantasy VII. Because remember, they had painted backgrounds in 3D.
It's pre-rendered, right?
Yeah. All the backgrounds were illustrated, and a character would walk. A 3D character would walk over it. It felt like that.
I read that the director was a painter, and so like a lot of the shots are composed that way. It's the first. There's two things that you notice immediately. One is the aspect ratio, which is that it's a square almost. It's not shot in a widescreen. And then the other is that it's almost every shot is totally static. There's very little camera movement, but when the camera moves, it's very deliberate.
Yeah.
And everything is very carefully, it's like masterfully made. There's only, Bill, to what you're talking about, I think there's only 3 gunshots in the whole film.
Yeah.
And they all like everyone that gets shot dies. Like, they all matter, right?
They're all high consequence.
The first shot is an accident. The box man accidentally gets shot.
That's right.
And there's like kind of a dragged out thing of like the doc's going to patch him up, and you're watching a heist movie. You're like, yeah, he'll be back. He'll be fine. And then like 15 minutes later, everyone's at his funeral.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's tricking the police. He's like hiding in the casket. But no, he died. He just died. Yeah, he's really dead.
And that gunshot is accidental. They're taking a gun from the patrol guy, and I think
just
he drops
goes
it
off.
And it goes off. Yeah, or it goes off when they're trying to take it out of his hand.
The film really communicates. I think this is a highlight for me. Is like the film is like, no, this is crime. Like if you get shot, you die. It's not like magical. It's very, especially for a film of this era, it's very focused on sort of just grit, realism. It's kind of like Chinatown where everybody loses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gnarly. I agree. No, Bill, I have the same highlights as you. I think it's beautifully shot. It's one of the most beautifully shot films I've ever seen. And
the cover too. We talked about how cool the cover is. Cool. And that's just one of those shots. There's a guy that like comes into frame and he ducks behind a pillar really subtly.
It's like one of the first shots.
Well,
it's one of the opening ones, and a cop car goes by and he keeps going, and the whole time we're just sitting there. I love it. I found it very, in this sense, very easy to watch.
Yes,
as opposed to the shaky hand cam, that stuff that was huge for a while, or just how much camera movement you have. It felt really thoughtfully put together in that way, and I thought it was really
it's also
cool
like
to look at.
That like economy of storytelling, where what I really like about old movies is that as you, using that specific example, it's like as you are composing pieces of art and beautiful scenes, you're also being like, that guy's hiding from a police car, and you immediately know what that guy's about. You immediately know something's up with this guy, right? Like, and you don't need like, because like in a modern movie, like in a Fast and Furious movie, it would be like a police chief slams the thing on the phone, has his picture on it, and it's like, that's Evan Rostero, and he went down for, and then there'd be like some quipping or whatever. Like, they just be like, this guy's hiding from a cop car, shot in a really beautiful way. You know what this guy's deal is, right? Like, you know that he's on the wrong side of the law. It's just cool. It's just beautifully told,
Yeah.
No, I think visually it's incredible. I don't think there's any question that it's even indoor shots. Like, it's lit really well. There's the contrast is incredible. The heist is crazy. It's so well shot. The heist is a really interesting example of like, how really great editing and staging can make something intense, because there's no music, there's none of this Ocean's 11 fast pan intercut whatever, but it feels urgent. It's very like the sense of the suspense of it is very real, and I really like that. There's a ton of good one-liners in it. I'm struggling to pull one right now, but one of my favorites was when Gus throws somebody out of his shop, and the guy goes, "I'd take you apart if you were a foot taller and stood up straight." I really like that.
There's another. What does he say? Stop crying and get me a bourbon, or when he's shot. He has a good old timey line like that.
He's got a funny one with the coffee too, where he's like, "Make it or shut up about it." It's like I shouldn't laugh at it, but it is funny.
Yeah. Why don't you quit crying and get me some bourbon?
Yeah.
Should we start telling people to do something or shut up about it?
Yeah. It's just good. Like, the thing that's funny about it is the level of the response, because they're not having an argument. She's like, "Do you want a coffee?" And he's like, "Do it or shut up about it." It's like, it's a crazy escalation. Yeah. Like, your friend just texted you and was like, "Hey, do you want to grab lunch?" And you're like, "Get it or fuck off."
Yeah, like, whoa, hey, what's going on? You're not planning some kind of complicated heist that's giving you anxiety.
You're not in the middle of a caper, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are you guys' lowlights other than, I guess, representation?
Low light. Go ahead, Bill.
I was just gonna say, on that note, I will say I thought all three of the female leads had great performances.
Oh, that's right, because there's the other guy's wife.
There's
the
lady in the bed. Yeah,
I forgot about her.
I thought all three of them I totally bought. Yeah. The characters are what they are, and the way they're treated is the time. But I thought the performances were unbelievable. I thought they were all really good.
I think this was like one of Marilyn Monroe's.
It was young Marilyn Monroe, right?
Not her first, but one of them.
Yeah. They were all great. I thought Doll was especially good.
Doll,
the woman that
Dix's girlfriend.
Yes,
she was good.
I thought she was so good.
What else? We can talk lowlights.
I felt like I knew her. Honestly, I liked this movie. Honestly, we might watch this again from time to time.
Whoa.
So I'm not super down on it. I do think
higher or lower than Snatch?
Oh man.
Snatch is probably easier to watch.
What did we give Snatch?
They're both good.
I don't remember.
I'm up and down on Snatch depending on the day you ask me.
I think when you talk about Asphalt Jungle, if you remove some of the criticisms that you would have that are just explained by the fact that it's like a 50s movie where you're like, it's kind of slow, or the acting's like really exaggerated. Like, well, that's what movies were like, right?
Yeah.
You pull those out, the movie's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty great.
I get why it won awards, and
it's a good movie.
Why people generally.
I think it's also considered like the blueprint for heist films. Yeah. It made me curious though, because I was reading about it last night, and I guess the guy who played Dix is in another heist film called The Killing. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, The Killing is Stanley Kubrick's second movie.
Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
It made me curious to watch it.
It's fucking good. It's really, really good.
Of course.
There's like a lot of Chris Nolan Dark Knight stuff in it. Like, you can see where he cribbed directly from it. Killing's pretty damn solid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think, highlights for me, I love how it's shot. I'm a geek for the way things are shot. So like I
course,
really
yeah.
like when something's shot really well. And this one
Photography nerd.
is.
This is like a Criterion movie, right? Like they don't give that away lightly, right? It's an art movie.
Well, I mean, they gave it to Armageddon, but
Oh,
Is that where they do the graham cracker on the belly?
Yes, the animal crack.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from that.
Yeah,
movie.
it's an
I think
iconic scene.
It's well shot. The script is great. It's so efficient. It's not very long. It's like under 2 hours.
No, it's long.
Or something like that.
I want to complain about how long it is, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I guess lowlights got to come from you, buddy.
Well,
it felt a little long for me, honestly. For me, I was kind of bored. It might just be like where my brain's at the moment or what I expect from heist movies. I was kind of bored because like 50s movies have that thing where they just like they do an efficient job of setting things up, but then they'll just like hang on a conversation or a moment for like really fucking long.
A little longer than you need now.
And so I kind of was getting a little like I watched it across 2 sittings. Like I was kind of got a little antsy with it, but it is very, very good. To be honest, this might sound crazy, but like I don't think it's better than Snatch.
I wonder.
I don't know what to tell. I'm sorry.
It does have a thing that I find really awkward that's in these older movies where they do a lot of crossfade transitions. And so the way that every scene ends is like the actor will deliver a line, but then they have to like continue to silently act while the crossfade's happening.
Yeah, Star Wars style.
It like lingers in a really weird way. I wonder about something I wonder about is the pace of storytelling over the course of filmmaking history increases, right? Editing's faster, shots are faster. And I wonder how much of that also is a result of us just understanding tropes of film as we've all seen more and more. Like we don't need the scene to linger because like we know what the scene is, right? As movie going people, we're like, oh yeah, he's a corrupt cop. We can roll right past this.
Right.
I don't know. But it's got that pacing thing that old movies have for sure.
I listened to an interview with the editor of the best car movie ever made, Mad Max Fury Road. And she was saying that there's this kind of editing technique they thought about when they edited the movie was that naturally when you blink to wet your eyes, that's when an edit should come. And that makes that movie feel so kinetic and so energetic because like every time you basically shut your eyes, a new thing is happening and like
something happens.
That is maybe like to John Huston, it might be blasphemy, but that's like how I'm used to consuming media now. Just like these rapid edits, but I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I know it's really fucking entertaining.
There's a state of mind thing to it too, where like, I think if you're going to sit and watch one of these, you got to be kind of going slow already.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to like wind down into one.
Yeah.
Because I was I watched it last night and I was kind of like dreading it. Because I'm like, oh, it's a 50s movie. I'm going to be really bored. But I was already kind of slowed down and tired. And
I was going to bed when I watched this.
Yeah, I see.
It kind of fit really. I started it in the bath. Like, felt like a really good wind down. I think I'd probably trim like 15 minutes out of it. That's probably true.
Do you guys think it's better than Snatch? Just answer the question.
I think they're comparable.
That's insane.
Here's the thing. I love.
Answer the question.
No, I must explain.
The question.
Brad Pitt running around being the pikey is so enjoyable.
Remember when the camper's on fire and they're trying to keep him back?
Oh my god!
Screaming at it.
It's so good, man.
So good.
There's so much of that movie I don't like that much. The gross pig guy. It's a good character. I don't like we're in so close to his face and he's talking about the pigs who eat the bones.
You don't like that it's
45
gross.
minutes.
Yeah.
What?
You don't like it's gross.
It's gross. It's just a lot of it. It's just a lot of it. That movie's like unreal in a way that I liked back. Like Sam said, in a way that I found understood our generation better. You know what I mean? It had that aggressiveness. But now I'm like, I don't have the energy.
I think it has something in common with Snatch, which is something that we usually appreciate. The Snatch is a Guy Ritchie movie. Nobody else could have made that movie. And I think this movie is it Huston, John Huston? Like, it's just very, like, he made this movie.
His fingerprint is on it.
His film. And so I think they're both really great from that measure. I think this is probably objectively a better film from I guess that's my point of view. I think it's a better movie. I think Snatch is, I mean, if someone was coming over and wanted to watch a movie, Snatch is more fun. I wouldn't be like, hey, let's put on the Asphalt Jungle and check this. I'd like, so it's hard to know how compromised we are because of our era, right?
You guys are dodging this question. It's crazy.
I think, no, I'm not dodging it. I think it's better than Snatch.
Absolutely making me furious.
But I don't
would
think
watch
it's
either of them.
More fun.
I bet in our house, Asphalt Jungle plays sooner than Snatch does. Because Deanne liked it more. give it ratings.
I like the aspect ratio a lot. I like that it's shot.
It was nice to look
square.
at.
We can agree.
You want to give it a rating?
In the Mood for Love is a 10. Okay. Now we work backwards from the 10. Okay?
Yeah, and then what's the one with
the noodle shop?
Yeah, the noodle shop.
Yeah, I like the noodle shop. And does he whisper a secret into a tree?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I think about that. I think about that a couple times.
And then Uncorked is a 1.
Dude, we don't need to. Nobody needs to punch down on Uncorked, man. Leave Uncorked alone.
We're doing it for the ratings. We
just
need
forget
a 1.
about Uncorked.
We need a 1.
I'm sick of Uncorked getting beat up on.
We just need a 1. No one's beating up on it. We just need a 1.
And then Cars is like a 5.
No. I don't. Number 1, I don't think Uncorked is a 1. I think Uncorked is probably a 3.
What's a 1?
Do you have a 1? Now we're being mean to Uncorked more.
No, a 3 is good. I think a 1 is probably like. I mean, I haven't
Fast
watched
X.
I haven't watched any.
Black Swan when they're pulling the skin off of the finger.
Oh my! Black Swan.
Black Swan's a high ranker. That's
a high rank.
So
that's
yucky.
A high rank.
It's up there. You got.
Oh, no skin stuff. No
it's
phalanges.
Aronofsky. His first movie has a guy drilling a hole in his own head. Like,
oh no, thanks.
It's just what you get.
It's nasty. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that like I just couldn't get through. Like maybe.
Well, yeah. You ever leave a theater? You ever turn anything off?
Only thing I ever left a theater for.
Never. I'll sit through it.
I only left letters from Iwo Jima, the Clint Eastwood World War II movie.
You walked out
because it was too devastating. It was too much to watch. It was too gnarly.
Yeah.
It was super gross. It was really gnarly. I walked out of it because it was too much for me.
I've never walked out of a movie. The only movie I've ever left in the middle of was Free Willy, and it was because I ate too much butter on my popcorn and I threw up.
Yeah. Not Free Willy's fault.
Yeah, it was. The movie was great. To be clear, it's a solid 5 actually.
I mean, that's not on Free Willy.
I honestly,
that's a heist movie,
dude. That
got to
heist the whale.
That's interesting.
Damn,
dude, the shot of the whale jumping over the kid with the hand.
Iconic.
Yeah. Such a big meme for a while.
Yeah, they free him.
Kids now don't know that meme.
I can't think of a 1 genuinely. I
wish I would have to.
Do you have a least favorite movie?
A 1 would have to be a movie that's like poorly made.
Yeah, do you have like a bottom 5?
Okay, my least favorite movie of all time.
I know what a 1 is. What's the movie Spielberg made last year about himself?
Oh no, people like that movie. Dude.
I never been so angry in my life after I watched a movie. It's a 1.
Honestly, that might be a 1, dude.
It's a 1. I
know it's blasphemy. The Fabelmans. That movie fucking stunk, dude.
I've never been so mad coming out of a film as I was coming out of that.
That might be my least favorite movie. That's a really good pull because
Fabelman.
I tried to watch it like 5 times because every film nerd was like, it's Spielberg revealing himself. He's open. I'm like, this movie fucking sucks.
He hasn't made a good movie in
so
15 years. You know what? Minority Report, and it was fine. And that was the last time he's really hit a dinger, you know?
You know what I watched, which was surprisingly fire? Because I was in a Guy Ritchie kind of mood, and I thought, what happened to this guy? Like, what's he doing now? He released a movie last
Revolver?
year. No, The Covenant. Have you guys seen that? Guy Ritchie's The Covenant?
No, I saw The Gentleman's, which I liked a lot. But
the Covenant is like, I would assume, a foster family favorite. Ask your dad about it because
The Covenant,
yeah, because he's seen it and likes it. The Covenant is a true story about
this
It's the Gyllenhaal movie.
yes, about this
I liked it. I watched
about
it.
this about this Marine I'll tell you the story, Bill, it's sick.
Okay.
There's a Marine in Iraq, right? Or Afghanistan. Shit.
Holy shit! I watched this movie like 3 weeks ago, and I totally blanked on it until you just mentioned it.
There's a Marine in the conflict in the
It's
Middle
Afghanistan.
East. In Afghanistan. And they get an Afghani translator. And they are trying to find a factory that makes IEDs. They find it. It's a big ambush. And the Marine squad all gets killed except for Jake Gyllenhaal, the platoon leader, and his Afghani translator. And it's a true story. The Afghani guy basically carries Jake Gyllenhaal's bullet-riddled body over the hills and mountains of Afghanistan over like a month. Like carries him like basically by hand over a month. And they like have to smoke opium as like painkillers and like, you know, drink water from like, it's crazy what they do, right?
Yeah.
They get back to civilization. They have like this Afghani translator has to kill a bunch of people. It's crazy. True story. They get back to the base. Jake Gyllenhaal wakes up in America. He's like a Purple Heart winner. And he's like, what happened to the guy who saved my life? And they're like, we don't know, but he's in hiding because he became a folk hero for defying the Taliban. And so he's number one on the Taliban's most wanted list now. And Jake Gyllenhaal's like, that dude saved my fucking life. And he starts to like lose his mind because all he can think about is this guy saving his life and how he has to repay his debt. Right. And so he sneaks back to Afghanistan as a rogue mercenary and goes and escorts this guy and his family out of Afghanistan in a huge hail of gunfire.
Mm-hmm.
True story. So gnarly. And then, you know, they show pictures of them both at the end of the movie in like America together.
The movie was
I always
fun.
like that.
Dude, and I was like, this is going to suck ass because Guy Ritchie's not good. And it was like really good. It was like surprisingly really effective.
That's
it was great, man.
That's a movie that this happens to me all the time now where there are, because I like movies, TikTok gives me movie stuff. And there's a bunch of TikTok accounts that are just movie clips. And there was a TikTok post of a scene from the movie where, you know, Matthew, when they pull up to that ambush and the translator's like, we can't go this way.
Yeah.
And they have like an argument. That clip was on just a TikTok poll that I saw. And I'm like, I'm going to take a look at this.
Dude,
it's movie. And
it's
it was
weirdly
pretty good.
an effective movie. It's pretty good. And big ups to Guy. But the funny thing is it could have been directed by anyone. It's
True.
weird that it's called Guy Ritchie's The Covenant because it has no Guy Ritchie flourish whatsoever.
I think it's called that because The Covenant is a horror movie.
You're right.
That they had to like rename.
What's sick is that the Covenant, the Brotherhood, the Bond. It's fucking sick.
It's also kind of a heist movie. He's got to steal a guy.
Yeah, it's true, and his family. I imagine Daddy Foster absolutely loving that flick.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
He's got to like that movie.
It does involve being friends with an Afghani. That's not fair.
That's a bridge too far.
No, it's not fair. I'm making a joke at my dad's expense. That's not fair.
It's a very hardcore military movie. It's cool. It's good. It's also respectfully done. It's not like it doesn't glorify death. And it's
so
cool.
If a 10 is In the Mood for Love and a 1 is The Fablemans.
Yeah.
Where
controversial take.
I forgot where we put Snatch.
So if the one,
I think Snatch was like a 7-ish.
Yeah, I think I give Snatch a 7.
Yeah.
On that scale, I think this is also a 7.
I agree.
Yeah. I get why in the annals of film history it's like a 10. But I personally,
7.
I'm not rushing to watch it again. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's considered a 10. I think Rafifi's considered the 10.
Can't find it.
Hard to watch.
I know. But I'll say, here's what I'll say.
Vanished footage.
Maybe this is a good way to think about it. When we walked out of the theater, the first time we saw Snatch in like 2001, that's probably how you felt walking out of the Asphalt Jungle in like 1950. You were like, oh my God.
You were ready to rob a bank yourself.
Yeah, you were like,
I'm the box man.
Blown away. Yeah, exactly.
You were looking at your palm and seeing if you could like get a revolver, like what a revolver would look like.
Yeah.
You know, you thought about what a gun in your hand would look
Yeah.
like.
What if I had some heat?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
the vocabulary was a highlight for me.
The way they talk.
Behind the walls, do you have heat? But
Mhm.
there's so many great. It's too bad Driver's still a driver.
You want a
Yeah.
cooler name as the driver.
I'd be the
Driver's
Wheelman.
good.
Yeah,
Here's the
Wheelman's
thing.
a good one, right?
Wheelman's
Wheelman, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You can't beat
So,
Wheelman.
Driver's
The man,
been cool the whole time.
the man
Yeah.
responsible for the wheel. That's what it's so
The
cool.
wheelman.
The
He's
wheel,
holding the
man.
wheel. Yeah.
It's so cool.
I think, I'd say it's as good as Snatch is. They're just different.
Yeah.
But they're both. I'll say this: we're
It'll
starting the
outlive
season.
Snatch.
We're starting the season well.
Yeah.
What do we watch?
You guys think
next?
so?
Yeah, they're both great.
This will outlive Snatch.
There's no Uncorked in
No,
the season
no.
yet. You know, we haven't watched a
wait,
stinker
wait,
yet.
wait.
You think in the bracket it'll pass
Out-
Snatch?
No,
Live
no. I
Snatch?
mean, in terms of its legacy, it is
No.
part of film
Is
history.
Snatch criterion?
Yes,
It
it will
is-
be. If
It is
isn't, it
part
will
of film
be.
history in a way I don't think Snatch will.
You're
be.
wrong. You're very
It's a-
wrong about
it's
that.
a prediction.
You're
Let's-
wrong about
can
that.
Can we bet on it?
I'll see you in what? We're both in our 30s.
How do you want to measure it?
How
Yes.
long do we have to
Yes,
do
text
this?
me through
30
your
years.
ocular implant.
30 years. 60s.
Yeah. And we'll see if people are still talking about Snatch or this one.
People are barely-
I have a film that for me is a one that pains me to say.
What is
Brother.
it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's going to hurt me because I think I'm very close to loving this movie.
It's not Brotherhood. What? Who said that?
Not Brotherhood. You
Oh.
talk about Brotherhood of the Wolf?
You
That's a
said
10.
brother, not
No,
Brotherhood.
Oh,
I
no,
said brother.
no.
I said
Brotherhood.
brother.
Brotherhood's a 10.
Okay.
We should double. I do want to circle back on that.
Okay.
That it's a 10?
Brotherhood's ranking.
Brotherhood. Well, okay. It's 100.
I don't even feel like
I
I don't
have
think you can
complaints
rank.
about it.
I don't think you can even rank.
Yeah, it's on a
Brotherhood.
different scale. It's
That's not
in-
even a
it's in
movie.
Jupiter.
No, it's a
Yeah,
it's a movie.
It's something else.
It's not a 10, but I think it's a 9.5.
You know, like
That's
listen.
fine. I'll live
You
with
know,
that.
you can look. You can go anywhere. If you go to like Italy or you go to Europe, you can see frescoes, right?
Yeah.
The Sistine ceiling is made of fresco, but it's not a fresco.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
its
what I
own thing.
Oh,
It's
I
its
see
own
what you're
thing.
saying.
Brotherhood's not a movie.
You're saying it's the Sistine Chapel of
it's-
movies?
I'm saying it's the ceiling, the Sistine ceiling.
It's
'Cause,
above.
you got the Last Judgment back there too, and that's a fresco.
Sure. Sure.
It exists in a category, but I don't think it
It's its
exists.
own category.
I think it is a movie. I think it is a solid 9.5.
I'm not going to argue that.
Anyways, what is a one for you, Bill?
A one for me. It's sad. Okay, so my advisor in grad school, someone who I artistically respect so much, recommended the movie Sans Soleil or Sunless, which is a Chris Marker artsy French new wave weird ass thing.
Yeah,
And I turned it off.
it's a one
And
for
I
you.
wanted to like it.
It's a movie like Warhol's 6-hour recording of the Empire State Building.
Well, I'm like, what am I watching? And there was stuff in there. There's stuff in there I love. There's stuff in there I still think about. I did not finish the movie because I was like, what the hell am I watching? I have
You know
better
what?
things to do. And it sucks because it maybe represented the limit of my artistic growth.
Yeah.
Are there movies that
Is a one.
I'm thinking of like? Do you think American Beauty is a one?
Oh,
it was
I got a one.
It was
I
a
got a
10 when it came out, and it's a 1 now.
But yeah, that's the biggest delta.
I'm curious
Yeah.
about
American-
those.
American Beauty 100% is a 1 now.
Yeah,
That
It
movie.
got the -10.
Do you know what the other big delta is?
Which one?
Garden State.
Garden State.
yeah.
Massive delta.
Everybody
Fall off.
turned on that one.
If we were doing like a clickbaity podcast, we would say these are the biggest, right? The biggest like fall offs in
From 10 to 1
in film
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
History spits on these movies.
So-
I'll tell you a 1. I got a 1 for you guys.
I
got
wanna
a
hear
1
it.
for you. I have 2 1s for you. What I love is we'll have to compile a list of our bracket eventually one day of like our timeline.
yeah,
Because at the 1 category, we now have Sans Soleil, The Fableman, 2 movies which I think are beloved by film geeks.
Yeah.
I also
sounds-
have Hubie Halloween, the Adam Sandler movie where he plays, I believe, a developmentally disabled security guard who has to like stop ghosts.
okay.
That was just on the.
I'd rather watch that than The Fablemans.
That was under
Yeah,
the
there's
background.
Sans Soleil.
It's really it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then right beside that is Black Adam. Black Adam's a 1.
Oh, Black Adam's so bad.
Black
What's
Adam's
the
easily
movie?
a 1.
What's the movie that John Waters made where Divine eats a dog turd out of a box?
Ew.
I don't know. What that
I would
is.
rather watch that than watch Black Adam.
Black Adam
again.
was one of the worst movies
You
I've
guys
ever
know what I'm
seen in
talking
my life.
about? It's John-
know.
I basically
But
went-
you're good. You don't need to send me anything.
I just want to remember. No, I'm not gonna. I just want to remember the name of the movie.
I will I will march up and down the street
Pink flamingos.
telling everyone not to watch Black Adam if I can do it. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
If you want to watch the weirdest movie you've ever seen, it's Pink Flamingos, but I would recommend you don't.
Okay, great.
Do you know what I watched recently that really messed me up, man? I watched Kids again.
It's not. It's
The
yucky.
Larry Clark movie. It was
Yucky.
really yucky.
Yucky. No, thank you.
Yeah,
You should check out Hubie Halloween.
I'll take a look. What are we going to watch next? We got to watch another heist movie.
I don't remember.
We got a bunch. We've got Inside Man. We've got The Maltese Falcon, which we don't want to watch another old movie probably. Probably want to go more modern this time. Heat. We've got Oceans.
Do we do Oceans? Do we just try to vet Oceans against two pretty solid movies and see how we feel?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
interesting.
I think if you look, you're saying, okay, Asphalt Jungle is like the beginning of this genre.
2 sevens is crazy.
Oceans is sort of like the height of the genre modern, right?
It's like the red line of heist movies,
Man,
in my mind.
It's not that good.
I could be wrong. No, it's not that good.
You know, it's
What
no
what
Dog
is?
Day Afternoon.
That's a 10, man.
you think Red Line's a 10?
Red line's a 10.
Red Line's a 10.
Mad Max is a 10.
I think Mad Max
Close.
is also a 10.
Dude,
Yeah, it's probably a 10.
we have
Yeah.
a crazy movie ranker. If you put that thing on a timeline between 1 and 10, we have a lot of 1s and a lot of 10s.
Wait,
Nothing in the middle.
No, Red Line's.
That's how you got to be in the
Here's the thing.
podcasting game.
There's only one 10. It's In the Mood for Love.
Right.
A flawless work. Like Redline's great, but it's In the Mood for Love is a flawless
110.
work. There's only one perfect film.
It depends on how the scale works.
It's In the Mood for Love.
So is there only room for 1-1? The Fate
Well, yeah,
Woman?
we have to decide on what the bottom is.
You know Sans Soleil's one because I wish I could tell people I liked that.
But is that a real movie or is it like
Right.
an arty concept, right?
I would say it's not a movie.
Because I think if you went in trying to make a movie like Adam Sandler presumably did with the Halloween thing, you can go,
With
that
Hubie
was
Halloween.
bad.
Yeah.
But if you said, I'm going to make something that makes people uncomfortable and feel weird, it's not really what
It
a
sure
movie
did.
does.
You know what the sequence was that made me turn it off?
Do tell.
It was a bunch of animal genitalia.
What do you mean?
Just like close-ups of animal
Shots
owners?
of animals.
That's an art film. That's not a movie.
Privates.
Yeah, brother, you watch an art movie.
They show
You
that
watch
at
an art-
LACMA when you're walking
You
through
watch
and just
that-
like
you watch
they play
something, you see
audio
the
of a woman
mocha.
screaming and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
what I was
That's
watching.
not real.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
no,
like
come
I got
on.
like 45 minutes in, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
You watched the art
45
movie.
minutes?
That's a
I don't know
long
how far
time.
I got. Yeah, I don't know. It was in grad school. I was
Oh my
wired
God.
for that kind
Oh,
of thing
you were-
back
you
then. But I
wanted
didn't
to-
make it.
You were hoping to hit the bar later that night to blow
I-
someone's mind.
I wanted to like it. Absolutely, I
Yeah.
wanted to like it. Did not happen.
Let's watch Ocean's 11.
It sounds
A
kind of
movie.
boring.
We got to
It's
watch
so
it though. I mean, unless you got suggestions.
It's
I don't,
like the
but I've seen
heist
it a
movie, bro.
million times. I've
You
seen it
have?
so many. Ocean's 11?
But
Yeah, what do you got then?
But the
You got
chemistry is so electric.
We have to watch it sooner or later.
I know.
True.
I was thinking about Hubie Halloween, and now I kind of want to watch something a little fun. I'm kind of
Oh,
interested
we
in
could try
like
Sans Soleil.
what,
again.
like the Italian Job or
Oh,
What's
Italian
something
Job
a
was
little-
fun.
something a little lighter. I guess Oceans is really light, huh?
you want to watch like a wacky light heist movie?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, you know what? I'll shut up. I'll watch Oceans. That's fine.
I'm gonna Google real quick. Hang on.
I'll shut my
I'm gonna
mouth.
Funniest
Google-
heist movie.
Funniest heist movie. That's what
I love
I'm
that.
I'm
Love
looking
that
for.
search.
So how do we figure? Do you guys want me to
Torrent.
Rafifi and I can send it to you guys? How do you want me to do this? Well, because we have to see.
What? Okay, wait. You've been leaning
Yeah.
back for most of this podcast,
Yeah.
so
And then you
sound
came
pretty
in.
Well, you leaned in to whisper it. You were just 10 times louder than you've been when you said the
Oh,
word
Baby
torrent.
Driver is pretty.
And I shouldn't have done
Mike.
the opposite. Huh?
Yeah, it had the opposite of the effect you want.
Actually,
Yeah.
probably the version of like a really light, goofy heist movie is like Logan Lucky.
Oh, that's a good one.
I
Yeah.
never saw that.
No,
might
you know,
like it.
we'll watch Oceans. That's fine. That's fine. We'll watch Oceans.
And we have Triple Frontier still.
Oh my God, Triple Frontier is so fucking cool.
I don't even
That
know
might
what
be
you're
the
talking
best heist movie of all time.
about. I never saw it. I never
Well,
heard of it.
Let's watch Ocean so it's not hanging over our heads.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the
And
sword.
then we'll move on.
Okay.
Anything
buy it.
else?
I buy it. That's it.
What?
That's all I got.
Okay.
Three Kings.
That's a good one too. Stealing Gold.
That's a good one. Yeah, Stealing Gold.
It also started the trend of the desaturated blue film.
Michael Bay, right?
Is it? No way.
Yeah, that's a Michael Bay movie. No, I'm sorry. That's the guy who likes to like beat up his actors. He's a bad guy. He did Amsterdam, the movie Amsterdam.
I Heart Huckabees.
That's not a heist movie, I don't think.
You're thinking of David O. Russell.
David O. Russell.
Wait, isn't
David
he
O.
the guy that
Russell.
directed Joker?
No,
No,
that's
American Hustle.
Yeah, Joker is the comedy guy. Dude.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
No, it's the Riddler.
The fact that they're making a second Joker,
The story,
Dude,
the
they
story
must
of
have made so
Joker-
much money.
and they're
This-
saying it's a musical.
The story of that movie is so interesting
I
to me
know.
because the director
I know.
was at a premiere for his own movie.
Todd Fields.
He saw a billboard for a superhero movie and he went,
No,
the
not
only
Todd
way
Fields.
he's like, the only way you can make a movie in Hollywood is to make a stupid superhero movie. So what if I make a movie that's pretending to be a superhero movie, but I make a really dark, weird movie? I think that's an interesting tale, but I hated the movie.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's an interesting tale. I think fuck that guy. I think that
Okay.
sucks.
Joker's a 1.
I like Little
Yeah,
Shop
Joker's
of
a
Horrors.
one.
Unless
Joker's
you-
a 1. I never
yeah.
saw it. It's a 1.
It's a one.
1.
It's a one.
You ever see Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis?
I love
It's a 10.
that movie.
That's a 10.
I love
a 10.
musicals,
It's a
and
good-
I
That's a
love that
10.
movie.
That one's great.
Where do you guys put Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I never saw it. I think it looks bad. I don't like I
okay.
don't like it.
I love Rocky Horror.
I know
but
this
it's not,
is so fascinating.
but it's not good. It's weird.
It's
we
cult
should really-
following bad.
It's
We
like
should-
a solid 5 or 6
We should
quality wise.
We should follow up on Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Okay. I love that movie personally.
I dated a girl once, and
Yeah, we'll follow. That's a
We'll
teaser
follow
for
up.
next
We'll
episode.
follow up. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good
Bye.
deal. Bye.
Bye.